stole his first term as president. These absolute liars who run around trying to act like they're the protectors of democracy completely ruined it, tried to undermine it at every turn and at the highest levels with lies, with out and out lies that were really serious, and changed foreign policy and changed the course of history in this country in Trump's presidency. And there must be accountability. There has to be actual criminal accountability for those who lied. And I can't wait to see this administration do it.
I'm going to go to the next topic here, which is Adam's top topic, talking about Obama saying every man needs a gay friend. So Obama goes on his wife's podcast, okay? And they're sitting there having this conversation, and it opens, they covered a lot of different things. Right off the bat, they talked about the divorce. Hey, aren't we supposed to be getting a divorce and all this stuff? Just tell me if this seems like they woke up together in the same bed this morning, the last week, the last month, the last 90 days, or if they live in two different places. Just watch this real quick. Go ahead, Rob.
Wait, you guys like each other?
Oh, yeah, really? That's the rumor mill.
Yeah, slap that hand
He's my husband, y'all.
Barack Obama has spent years coasting on the myth of being untouchable, the polished politician who could do no wrong, packaged as a once-in-a-generation leader and sold as America's savior. But when Megyn Kelly and Patrick Bet-David step in, that carefully crafted image collapses. They strip away the charm and lofty rhetoric, exposing what lies beneath. Endless wars that dragged on under his watch, lofty promises that were quietly abandoned, and a legacy riddled with contradictions no amount of smooth speeches or charisma can hide.
So here is Trump just now. He was just caught on camera saying, well, we'll play both of them in succession. Let her rip.
That you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold, Tulsi Gabbard. What they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up all the way going up to 2020 in the election. They tried to rig the election, and they got caught. And there should be very severe.
Today, the great Barack Obama, the hero of the left, the hero of the Democratic Party, the man who gets up and speaks, it's, oh my God, Black Jesus is in the house today, right? He goes and campaigns, and this is the worst loss of his career, my opinion. This is what I think. Worst loss of his, I think the worst night of his life was November 5th, November 6th, midnight.
Barack Obama perfected the art of being everything to everyone. A political chameleon who could step into any room and leave people convinced he was speaking directly to them. But when Megyn Kelly and Patrick Bet-David dig beneath the surface, that illusion unravels. The speeches that once electrified crowds now come across like recycled talking points. The promises that once felt historic now look hollow when measured against the results. Obama didn't build an era of progress. He built an era of branding. The shine was there, but the substance was missing.
Let's cherish the moment. Barack Obama sitting like that. Where is his junk? It has to be mushed.
That's what you.
It's not even
That's what you interrupted Tom for. You're talking about his marriage.
Tom was saying something
Unbelievable.
about the challenge of marriage, but listen, you know who else is like that? Gavin Newsom.
Oh, hardcore.
They sit like that. That takes
hurts.
art. That's
hurt.
Yeah.
Kelly cuts straight through the glossy shield the media has wrapped around Obama for years. He's long been treated as the golden boy of American politics, protected from the same level of scrutiny that others routinely face. She lays out how he built his reputation as a bold reformer and visionary, while in reality he quietly expanded the very institutions he once promised to reign in. Guantanamo Bay never closed, the wars in the Middle East dragged on even longer, and the surveillance state ballooned into something far more invasive under his watch. Yet his supporters kept selling the story that he was a reformer. Kelly doesn't buy it, and she makes it clear that wasn't reform. It was stagnation dressed up with a smile.
I know, because when we aren't, folks think we're divorced.
Look, these are the kinds of things that I just miss, right? So I don't even know this stuff's going on.
Right.
And then somebody will mention it to me, and I'm
People think that they're on the outs because they're not always in the same room together, Maureen. That's what she would like people to believe. Like she had what, 1 or 2 public appearances without him, and that's what led to the divorce.
Bet David goes beyond policy and zeroes in on the psychology behind Obama's brand. He argues that Obama's real strength wasn't governance, it was performance. The carefully timed pauses, the perfectly lowered voice, the ability to recycle the same speech in 10 different ways until it sounded profound. These were his true tools of power. It was less about leading and more about mesmerizing an audience. And people bought into it. But while Americans were captivated by the act, the scorecard painted a very different picture. Skyrocketing debt, deeper national division, and a foreign policy that left the world even more unstable than when he first took office.
He does not look good. He does not look confident. He looks weak. He looks like he's having a hard time giving his argument to Charlemagne, like he's trying to defend, but he can't. How did you go from, well, you know, at least I will go down as a president, you know, and that whole mic drop on Fallon or Kimmel, whichever one it was. And then it's like, well, you know, there's a guy in here who believes, and, you know, it's at the dinner. I don't know if you guys remember that whole speech.
Oh, yeah.
You will never be in the White House. And then, boom, he gets the White House.
Together, they dismantle the myth that Obama was ever a revolutionary figure. Kelly circles back to his famous campaign slogan, hope and change, and then lays it against the cold reality. Wall Street still got its bailouts. The same political elites stayed in power, and the revolving door between government and big money kept spinning just as fast. If anything, Obama mastered the art of making business as usual look like transformation. He didn't drain the swamp. He polished it, painted it over, and sold it as something new, convincing half the country they were witnessing a historic shift when really very little had changed.
It's amazing. Every word she says about Barack Obama is negative. I can't think of her sitting there just waxing poetic about him, complimenting, he's brilliant, he's a great dad, he was the greatest president, whatever a normal wife of Barack Obama would say. Every time she opines, it's something that reflects poorly on him, how he's insensitive, how he's not a talker, how he doesn't know how to relate.
Bet David adds to the critique by highlighting Obama's obsession with legacy. He argues that Obama seemed more focused on how history books would remember him than on rolling up his sleeves and doing the gritty, difficult work of real change. Every move felt carefully staged, more like it was crafted for future biographies than for solving problems in the moment. That fixation explains why he played it safe, why his presidency looked like one long balancing act meant to protect his personal brand instead of truly confronting the entrenched powers he once railed against. Sure, it preserved his image among loyalists, but it also left behind a string of missed opportunities that future generations are stuck dealing with. Kelly takes it even further, calling out the selective memory that keeps Obama elevated on a pedestal. She lays out the scandals that were quietly swept under the rug, not because they didn't matter, but because the media acted like his in-house PR department. For her, the scandal isn't just what Obama did, it's the way an entire system worked overtime to shield him. That wasn't journalism. It was worship.
Michelle Obama slammed for whining about costs in the White House. Okay. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. This is her speaking with, is this the diaries of a CEO, right? So, Rob, if you can play this clip, this is her talking about how expensive it was to live in the White House. Go for it.
It's expensive to live in the White House.
Yeah.
As many people don't know. I mean, much is not covered. You're paying for every food, every bit of food that you eat. You know, you're not paying for housing and the staff in it, but everything, even travel. If you're not traveling with the president, if your kids are coming on a Bright Star, which is the First Lady's plane, we had to pay.
Bet David then zeroes in on the economic contradictions at the heart of Obama's presidency. Obama sold himself as the champion of the middle class, but under his watch, wealth inequality only grew wider. Wall Street bounced back spectacularly after the financial crisis, with bankers awarding themselves record-setting bonuses, while everyday Americans struggled through one of the slowest, most fragile recoveries in modern history. Obama's rhetoric was all about standing up for the little guy, yet time and again, his policies tilted in favor of the corporations and lobbyists with the deepest pockets. Bet David points out how rarely this hypocrisy is confronted because so many are still clinging to the fairy tale version of his presidency. Kelly shifts the focus to foreign policy, where the cracks in the myth become even harder to ignore. Libya left in ruins, Syria spiraling into one of the worst humanitarian disasters of the century, Afghanistan dragging on until his successor was forced to end it. She highlights the bitter irony of it all. A Nobel Peace Prize winner who ended up leaving a legacy defined by endless conflict.
Do you know in 2019, a report was done that not one terrorist was allowed in? Now, I think it's probably wrong because it's, I want to take credit for it. It was my year.
Have you seen the terrorist stat?
Thousands.
Rob, pull up the clip with not this one, the other one, Rob, because you like the charts. I think you're going to love this chart. So this is the chart. I don't know if you've seen this or not. So this is the terrorist attacks, deaths, and injuries based on different presidents being there. If you go to 2008 to 2016, that's the Barack Obama era. Look what he did. He produced more terrorist attacks during his era. 16, you get elected. Look what happened.